You are listening to the Slow Living Podcast, and I'm your host, Stephanie O'Day. What if I told you that you could truly have the life of your dreams, the life you've always wanted, one filled with abundance, joy, and a sense of purpose? It's absolutely possible, and I see it each and every day with my coaching clients. It all starts with learning how to slow down. You deserve to live the life you've always dreamt about. Let's get started. Hello. Steph here. We are on episode number 84 of the Slow Living Podcast. And thank you so much for being here. I want you to feel my voice kind of wrapping around you as a great, big, huge bear hug. Because today I am going to tell you that you are absolutely, without a doubt, not alone. So today was kind of a fun day for me. So I am recording this at about 9:30 in the morning Pacific time, and I've been up for, let's do the mathing stuff, about 7 hours. And that's because I got up super bright and early this morning to watch King Charles III get crowned. So I watched the coronation kind of spectacular event, the spectacle, the pomp, and the circumstance. And then I also taught a Simple Shortcuts to Peace monthly call. And this month we happen to be sort of pivoting and pointing and our laser focus on to the organization module. And it was a great class. But first I want to talk a little bit about the pomp and circumstance of the coronation and why I like it and how it kind of lights me up. And it's just sort of fun. And I do like kind of the drama and the snark of like, where will Harry be? And Meghan is back in California and all of this stuff. So I grew up sort of watching Disney movies and reading princess fairy tale stuff. So I'm absolutely the correct target demographic of just watching like the royals. And I remember being really little and watching Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and kind of having that idea of Prince Charming kind of whisking you away to the castle. And then all of your worries will evaporate and your life will be sunshine and roses and pearly gates and gold-lined streets, and you'll never have a care in a world. And what's fun is now as an adult and watching it in real time on my TV, and it's not sunshine and roses and constant chorals in Westminster Abbey singing to you in their precious, beautiful voices. There's definitely a time and a place for that. But in real life and in these people's real life, you know that it's messy. And that's what's so fun for me to just kind of watch and to pay attention to. I've mentioned it before that I really like watching Bravo. I've gotten some kind of snarky, nasty emails like, why do you even watch that? That's such a waste of time. Aren't you better educated than that? And maybe I'm better educated than that, but I like it and it's fun for me. And it's fun for me to watch, especially the housewives who are in these huge McMansions and their lives are so messy and their eyelashes are like falling off because they're drunk and they're sweaty and they're throwing things at each other and hurling insults. It's so fun for me to kind of watch that juxtaposition of like uber wealth and status and then watching that they're not any happier than I am. Chances are I'm much happier than they are. And you are too. Chances are your life is not as messy and as drama-filled as these people on TV. And so if I can kind of live vicariously and munch on my popcorn and sit back and laugh a little bit. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe poking fun at others in a snarky way is wrong, but they're on TV and I'm not. So anyway, I'm going to own it, and I am who I am, and I like who I am. And that's actually what my biggest kind of hope and prayer for my children are as they grow, is they like who they are and all of the parts of them, the good, the bad, the ugly, and that they own it and somewhat come to peace with it. And I think that's a big part of what slow living is all about. So today I had a really fun morning because I've been awake for a good 7 hours and it's only 9:30 and I'm going to have to take a nap at some point because I will become exhausted. But I had a great Shortcuts to Peace coaching call. And then after, while I was walking Sheldon, I got an email from a former coaching client of mine who was in today's Shortcuts to Peace program. So she's gone through the program. She has coached with me. She has lots of tools in her toolbox. And her email to me was whether or not she should invest and buy some sort of organizational app. And it was just so funny to me. And it tickled me, and I had this huge smile, and I thought, I'm not going to write back to her. I'm just going to call her. So I ended up calling her, and we chatted. And so I'm not going to out her here on this podcast, but just know that I just think all of you are amazing and wonderful and lovely. And sometimes when I talk about coaching clients or a call that I just had, I'll get a message or a ping from somebody and they're like, were you talking about me just now? And often it's a conglomeration of a whole bunch of people. But in this situation, I did just get off the phone with someone. So I'm going to speak directly to that. And I think it's the idea and what struck me as so just adorable in this situation was she wanted yet another something to quote unquote save her from what she thought was disorganization. And so it goes back to the kind of thought of waiting for my prince to arrive and that kind of someone somewhere save me mindset. And that if only I had this one more program or did this one more thing, my life would be peaches and candy and roses and sunshine and sparkly unicorns all the time. And it's really interesting because she, in particular, has so many tools in place. She's worked with me in the past. She's gone through the Simple Shortcuts to Peace program. And so we were just joking around. And so I'm going to walk you through an exercise that we did together live on the phone. And so I asked her to get a piece of paper out and hold it kind of portrait-wise. And instead of folding it in half as if you were going to make a paper airplane, I asked her to fold it in thirds. And I asked her to write the word mindset, the top of one column, action, the top of the other, and consistency in the third. So you've got a piece of paper, you've folded it in thirds, and the columns are mindset, action, and consistency. And in this particular situation, we are talking about kind of chores and household organization. But this will work in every aspect of your life, with your relationships, with your spouse or your children or your parents. This will work with your finances, whether or not you're consistently building towards your retirement accounts or digging your way out of debt or both. So it will work in any of these things. But the idea of this column of paper is then you start writing down the different things in each column. And the hope is they're somewhat even and that you don't have kind of a lopsided triangle where one of the pieces is huge and the others not so much. So in her situation, and perhaps maybe with you, she is trying to action her way out of a mindset problem and a consistency problem. She already has the tools. She already knows what actions she should be taking, but she's not doing them consistently. So then that goes back to mindset. What's going on here? What is holding you up? Why aren't you doing the things that you decided on purpose a long time ago to continuously do on a day-to-day basis to keep moving forward, to keep feeling as if you're in control, to keep making teeny tiny baby steps towards your end goal, your end vision, your quote unquote dream life? Something is holding you up. So it's either consistency, and if you're not being consistent, then it's a mindset issue. So this is where coaching really comes into place, and where if you are not consistent, having another set of eyeballs on your brain and helping you walk through what's going on here. Having the accountability piece is very, very important. This is true when you're starting any sort of diet type program. I'm going to say diet in quotes because I actually hate that word. And I teach actually that it's an eating plan. The same way a koala diet is eucalyptus leaves. It's just an eating plan. It's just the way you eat. It's not something you go on and off. And I think in our culture, we look at like a 6-week diet and have rock star abs and all of these things. So it's something you go on and off of. And I do not believe that. And I do not teach that. And I do not coach that way. So anyway, let's think about it. There are success stories for every sort of eating plan out there, for keto, for Mediterranean diet, for intermittent fasting, for Weight Watchers, for Jenny Craig. The issue isn't doing the action. The issue isn't coming up with another new idea. The issue is the consistency. Because I think in general, we can all sort of agree that one of the things done in a long-term consistent way over and over again will eventually work. And if you're working on decluttering your house and the idea is that you're going to do it in 10-minute chunks every single day, consistency is what needs to happen. If after 30 days you're not doing the 10-minute tidy, and now all of a sudden you're scrolling Instagram or Pinterest for a new idea, for a new chore chart, for a new system, but you never did the last one in a consistent way. It's not finding a new plan is the problem. You're trying to action your way out of a mindset issue. So what does that look like for you? Where does this fit in? If you find that you're just constantly spinning your wheels, constantly searching for the next thing to save you, for the next thing to make it all better, then it's probably a really good idea to reach out for some coaching and have another set of eyeballs on your brain and another someone to wrap you in a great big huge bear hug and let you know that you're not alone. And these are the action steps to take. And this is how you do it. And this is the consistent follow-up. And having a little bit of accountability is really helpful. I get some pushback sometimes about the Simple Shortcuts to Peace course and the coaching, in that I don't know, maybe should offer Simple Shortcuts to Peace not as a course and maybe as an ebook or a PDF download and that kind of thing, and have it lesser priced. So I will say that I think for a course with built-in coaching, it's insanely economical. So it's $550, and with it, you have lifetime access to all of the PDFs, all of the downloadables, all of the videos, along with 2 one-on-one coaching calls that you can have with me at any time. And you get the monthly calls. So it really is a bargain for all you get. And the reason it's priced this way is I want you to do the things. I want you to find value in it. I want you to show up to the monthly calls. I want you to take it seriously. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself searching for the next shiny best thing. But if you've invested money and your time and your energy already, you have shifted into this mindset that this is going to work. I know this is going to work. This has been tested and proved by hundreds of women all over the world. And this actually really does work. And I'm going to give it my all. And if it's not working, I'm going to reach out to Steph and ask for help and ask to have someone else sort of look down on me and see, this is what's the holdup. This is what's happening here. That's not a big deal. That's just a thought you keep having. It's no worries. Let's sort of shift this and pivot this, because there is a system that will work if you do it in a consistent manner. So if you have any questions, and this is ringing true to you in some way, reach out to me. Let me know. If you want to hop on a call, I have free mindset consultation calls, and that's at stephanieodea.com/mindset. And you can get on the phone with me. We can walk through the different components. But the way the course is designed is to give you all of these action-y items laid out so you no longer have to reinvent the wheel. It's there. It's for you. You can go through them and then stop deciding again whether or not you need a new system or need to do this, that, or the other, because it's all laid out right there, right for you. And when that happens, you'll end up with so much more brain space where you can be creative, where you can have fun, where you can do the things that you've always wanted to do, because you're no longer, again, trying to fix a problem that really isn't there. It really isn't there. So going back to kind of the coronation and the pomp and the circumstance, what is fun about that is when you have kind of all of your basic needs met and your household is kind of running like a well-oiled machine, that's when you can decide, oh, you know what? I'm going to start this new hobby of creating tablescapes and doing like the fun things and being the fun mom and just creating new events and creating new memories for the kids, because I have freed up so much of my time and so much of my energy. And the house is just running like a well-oiled machine. The kids know what they're supposed to do. My spouse knows what he or she is supposed to do. It's all just fine. And you really have more margin in your day. And that's where that peaceful feeling comes from. That's when you kind of crawl into bed and you know what? Today was a pretty darn good day. I put out some fires. I did some stuff. Things popped up that I wasn't expecting. But it wasn't a big deal because I've got my solid foundation. I know what I'm supposed to do. I know what needs to happen on any given day. And if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. It is what it is. And I'm not going to beat myself up because I have systems and strategies and tools in place. Okay, so let's think about what some actual examples might be while you're writing them down on your paper. What does mindset look like? What do action items and the things that you keep actioning about look like? And consistency. So mindset are the things you do to put yourself in kind of a good place in order to then do the action items in a consistent way. So it might look like journaling. It might look like prayer. It might look like changing your thoughts into beliefs and thought patterns that might serve you. It might mean affirmations or doing some sort of chanting or something like that. Different acts of self-care that are above and beyond. So maybe getting a massage, maybe taking bubble baths, maybe taking a long, luxurious bougie nap, something like that. Setting intentions, creating a vision board. So those are all examples of what might be in a mindset column. For action items, that is creating things. So creating maybe an eating plan, creating a menu, creating some sort of chore chart, some sort of exercise plan. You're creating something, or you're scrolling and you're searching for something that you think is a missing item, and just constantly sort of redoing it. So if you have a set meal plan, that's your set meal plan. You don't need to make up a new one all of the time. Maybe it is creating a plan for yourself to write a book or do something that you've been putting off. Maybe it's decluttering the basement or re-landscaping the backyard. So something that you are trying to put into action in order to fulfill some sort of void somewhere. And then consistency. Consistency is showing up daily, sticking to the plan, doing the things even when you don't want to do it, giving it a solid try. So there's that phrase, giving it the old college try. But when you have an action to do item, so such as we're just going to use an eating plan, you have to give it a solid go. You can't decide, I'm going to be keto today and vegan tomorrow and, I don't know, count calories on Wednesday and then wonder why it's not working. No, you've got to do these things for a good, solid amount of time in order to kind of capture the data and record the data. So my best suggestion would be a solid 30 days, ideally 90 days. And if you've got trouble with this, I do have that 30-day planner it's on Amazon. It's 30 days to a new you. And it's just a great way to hone in and focus on what it is you're doing right now and follow through in a consistent way. So, we had a past episode where I shared my focus acronym, which was follow one course until success. So don't decide that you can action your way out of something when you're feeling kind of frantic and frenzied and overwhelmed and like the world is caving in on you. It really does boil back down to taking a deep breath, slowing down, deciding on purpose. What is the end goal? What am I working towards? And then teeny tiny baby action steps daily in a consistent manner. Your takeaway today, if you didn't do it while I was talking to you in real time, is to get out a piece of paper, fold it in thirds, and write at the top, mindset, action, and consistency, and list out the things that you're doing and whether or not they're working for you. And the idea is that your mindset column and your action item column and your consistency column are somewhat equal. So you know what's true for you and what's true for your family and where you need some help. And if you need help, reach out to me. I'm happy to. Consider yourself loved and hugged, and I will see you next time. Do you have a slow living story to share? Leave me a voicemail at stephanieodea.com/podcast with any questions, comments, feedback, or testimonials, and I will be sure to include it in an upcoming episode. Also, if you found value in this episode, please share it with your family and friends and subscribe through your favorite podcast provider. The more you share, comment, and leave positive reviews, the more people we can reach and share the slow living lifestyle and messaging. Thank you, Slow Down Society, and have an absolutely wonderful day.